All right, what's up, guys? So, I don't know if too many people remembered this group or duo from like the 20 I think they came out in like 2009, and then they kind of had like their last hoorah like in like 2011, I think. And yeah, like LMFAO. I think it's some people like look up their music like, oh, I remember this song, but if not, yeah, those guys they were killing it back when I was in middle school and high school. Like they came out when they came out with Party Rock Anthem. Yeah, they was like talking on there too. But I remember the song that I heard of from them for the first time. It was this song called La La La. And that was like that, and it seemed like after that, then I was always hearing of those guys, like either just being featured with some artists or just overall somewhere in things. But they were like the definition of like what a party should be. Like it was because no, I think they came out with one song, "Sorry for Party Rockin'," and they had one of the guys from the original like House Party movie. And yeah, it was like, fam, like I'm just saying, like these guys was like, because no, there was that movie Project X that came out, and I was like, they were like up there when it came to partying and things. So I've never been. I'm talking as if I've been to one of their parties. I'm just going based off of what I've seen in videos and just heard about those guys. But no, I remember these guys. I listen to their music a lot. I don't care what anybody says. I want them. I want them to make a comeback. Maybe after this video goes viral, then well, I mean, it kind of technically did already go viral. But no, man, I'm like, I want to see these guys like make a comeback. I looked them up like maybe a couple of months ago and seeing that they, the one, he's, I think, because there's like, it's the one with the afro. I can't remember who was who and stuff, but it was the one with the like the afro, and he still does things. I think the other one, he's just chilling and stuff. So I'm saying that could be like their, reunion. It's like they like he's trying to bring him back and be like, hey, remember when we used to? And they come out with like an official like last album and stuff. So. But anyways, this is uploaded by Sunny V2. Let's go ahead and check this video out. This video is titled LMFAO, Where Are They Now? Their Brutal Decline. So, but I feel like that last album they came out with was solid. So, I don't know. But anyways, let's go ahead and check this out.
They were the most iconic musical duo of the early 2010s.
Yeah.
The wild hair, the lensless glasses, and the bizarre outfits mixed with a bright
he still does stuff.
Scheme helped to generate a combined 4 billion views across their four most popular music videos, in the process making LMFAO an almost unforgettable act. The whole time, however, the two members of the group hated each other. Redfoo and Sky Blue feuded publicly on Facebook, became involved in lawsuits, were berated and destroyed by the media, all while each of their careers died a silent slow death in the background, with
I did not know that.
failed project following their peak in 2011. The story of LMFAO is a brutal warning about the risks of going into business with a family member, because as you may or may not know, the group began as an uncle-nephew duo. Redfoo, being the uncle and older of the two by approximately 11 years, had been born into the music world, with his father being the incredibly rich and famous Berry Gordy, who founded Motown Records, which signed artists such as Stevie Wonder.
I have heard of that name.
Jackson, with Sky Blue being the 11-year younger.
I did not know that.
Redfoo, and therefore also being in the same family.
You're actually part of a very famous family.
Yes.
And that is?
The Gordys.
The Gordys.
It's safe to say that the two were in an advantageous position from the very beginning. However, this certainly didn't guarantee success for either of the two family members. In 1997, at the age of 22, Redfoo released his first studio album titled Balance Beam, which, according to the Discogs website, sold only 44 copies. In an interview from 2002, over 5 years after the release of his first album, it appeared as though Redfoo was still somewhat confused about the direction in which his life was going.
And I'm doing some stand-up comedy. I'm doing some music, I'm doing some rapping, but for the first time in my life, I'm trying to just build myself.
Yet at around the same point in time, Redfoo and his nephew Sky Blue seem to have subscribed to the popular self-help movement known as The Secret, believing that if they simply envision themselves as big DJs, the path to such a position would reveal itself as time progressed.
And it started off really with The Secret.
The Secret, the motivational,
thing,
video
we really saw that putting out there what we want is going to come back.
With the goal of becoming big DJs now established, their they'd impulsively decided to form LMFAO whilst at a family Christmas party.
One day we were at this Christmas party at the family crib at my grandfather's house. He's like, yo, we should form a group together.
Also mentioning that they originally planned on calling themselves Sexy Dudes, yet decided to go with the LMFAO, fearing that Sexy Dudes might result in judgment from their grandmother. Subsequently, Redfoo and Sky Blue began to live what they described to be the party rock lifestyle, DJing 3 nights per week at random clubs across Los Angeles, whilst working on improving their music during the daytime.
We were just living this lifestyle, which was, you know, party rock. You know what I'm saying? Like, we went and did clubs 3 times a week, and people didn't know who we were, didn't know our music, and we just get up there, yo, what up, we LMFAO. We were partying every night, we're performing, and every night, and if not, we're
So yeah, what I said wasn't too far off. Like, these guys, I'm saying it was like, these guys was, if you just watch their videos and interviews and just a bunch of other, like, I was a fan of them, like, at the time when they were really blowing up and things. So I was like, yeah, following them on social media. What else? Like, just overall, like, you know, yeah, just paying attention to stuff. And yeah, it was like you were always seeing these guys like at like some sort of like get together and things. So
something, we're making something. To me, that whole time just felt like a one long party.
This is where LMFAO's family connections came into play. Redfoo and will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas had conveniently been friends since high school, and by 2009, Redfoo and his cousin had been creating music for over 10 years, giving LMFAO enough skill and experience to land a major record deal through will.i.am. Subsequently, he and Sky Blue would release bangers such as Yes and I'm in Miami, at which point they fully embodied the idea that success happens not at all, then all at once. Yes went certified gold in the United States, boasting over 500,000 sales, whilst I'm in Miami peaked top 50 in the charts throughout the United States, the UK, Canada, and Australia.
I remember when that came out.
Of these 2 songs caught the attention of David Guetta, who would feature them on his song Getting Over You alongside Fergie, which has over 250 million views to this day. Yet, the music seemed like only half of what made LMFAO so iconic. A large portion of their skill seemed to lie in their memorable style and branding. You could tell that the members of LMFAO were just these 2 Los Angeles bozos.
What's your favorite thing about Los Angeles? The women.
Who had a genuine passion for partying and making others dance. Everything about them was just so authentic. Their wacky style and carefree attitude felt effortless and unapologetic. Every other DJ...
Yep, it was this. That's the song. So that's like the music video, or the start of the music video, the first song that I heard of them and things. I think I was just flipping through MTV, I think, and then seen their song was playing. It was just all like, I like this. I'm like, I like how this sounds and things, so...
so hard to look cool or suave, yet LMFAO was so comfortable in making a fool of themselves.
That video was questionable, man.
As if they were mixing comedy into their music. However, this approach certainly wasn't appreciated by everyone. In June 2011, LMFAO released their most infamous album titled Sorry for Party Rocking, which would receive a 0 out of 10 review from NME, which included a statement reading, LMFAO understood the pain they were inflicting on the world and did it anyway. That's a horrifying thought. Even Lucifer had good intentions. The Guardian would give it Sorry for Party Rocking a slightly better review at 1 out of 5 stars. However, if anything, these reviews were simply proof that taste is subjective, as the songs within this album would go on to become some of the most popular in pop music history.
That's what I'm saying.
At the beginning, the 4 most viewed songs on the album, Party Rock Anthem, Champagne Showers, Sorry for Party Rocking, and Sexy and I Know It, boast a combined total of 4 billion views here on YouTube, while on the Billboard Greatest of All Time Hot 100 Songs, Party Rock Anthem still sits at rank number 7 over 10 years later. However, while on the surface it seemed as though everything was going incredibly well for LMFAO, nobody could tell that behind the scenes, the relationship between the 2 members was...
That's the thing, if it's about like the partying and stuff, it's like, fam, even without these guys here, you still will hear about like parties going like down and going crazy. I don't know how many times I've seen videos of like floors caving in because they got like 500 people and 100 people capacity like building and stuff. So like, nah, man, I wouldn't necessarily blame them for like the, you know, the whole party movement. Like, party movements have been going on for like years now. Like I said, there's the one guy that was so if there's that one video that they did, Sorry for Party Rocking, there's a guy that was at the very end, and I'm pretty sure none of the people had seen the movie that he was in. Then it was like, I feel like that's kind of like how parties used to be, where they were chilled, cool, people was just there and dancing. As the time progressed on, people got a little bit more wilder. Parties got a little bit more wilder. I'm saying, it's like, in my opinion, I just think like before them, parties was already going crazy. It was like they were just rapping about it. I wouldn't, because my thing is this: it wouldn't be no different than like today's rappers if they're rapping about like violence and all that stuff. It's like, fam, this stuff's been going on for years now. If they rap about it, that's wordplay. That's what they want to rap about. If they try to rap about being like let me think, like rapping about taxes or something, it's like people gonna be looking like, what is this? Like, honestly though, think about it. Look at every artist that stepped out of their like frame of what they usually do and see how it turns out for them. I remember people were going off on The Weeknd when he dropped that song False Alarm. So I'm just saying, like, what a person is used to in the music that they record, that's what people want to hear. Obviously, people liked it if they was getting hundreds of millions and billions of views and stuff. But I don't know. Like, I guess, like, if that's how they feel about the album, that's how they feel about the album. But in my opinion, it's like, fam, like, that's what people were into. That's what was blowing up. That's what put money in their pocket. So, anyways.
To deteriorate. The beef between Redfoo and Sky Blue began in early 2012 after Sky Blue would injure his back during a live Super Bowl performance alongside Madonna.
During the Super Bowl, my disc slipped when I was performing. And so as soon as I went down that little elevator, I collapsed and I couldn't even watch the rest of the show or anything.
This injury meant that Sky Blue couldn't continue on with the tour or possibly even make music at all, meaning Redfoo had to perform the tour by himself while Sky Blue recovered from his injury.
Was food there for you during that time period, during your healing process?
No, he's doing his thing. You know what I mean? He was really focused on what he needed to do. The tour kept going, and then I just had to go home. And, and everybody kept doing the Party Rock and kept doing the LMFAO without me.
As a result, Sky Blue wasn't paid for the tour.
Did you still get paid, though?
Hey, look, I don't...
What kind of story is that? Oh, my gosh.
That's wild.
So you got kicked out the group because your back went out.
I mean, pretty... You know, yeah.
Which must have soured their relationship pretty heavily, as after the tour concluded, Sky Blue and Redfoo wouldn't speak to each other for over a year.
After my back went out, you know, I didn't speak to Foo for a year. Me and Foo didn't talk for a year.
What? You didn't talk on the like Happy Merry Christmas,
Did he text you?
Nothing.
It became even worse when news outlets began to catch wind of the conflict. One article written by E! News in April 2012, approximately 2 months after the back injury, read, "The New York Post reported yesterday that the Grammy-nominated rappers are fighting, apparently over the cash they've made from their catchy tunes, including the #1 hits Party Rock Anthem and Sexy and I Know It, and are on the verge of going their separate ways." The two LMFAO members would shut these rumors down in an article written by Rolling Stone titled LMFAO Breakup Rumors Completely False, which stated, "In a conference call with reporters on Wednesday, the duo dismissed the speculation as merely a byproduct of their rising fame. It's completely false. We're family at the end of the day. Blood is stronger than anything," said Sky Blue, alluding to the fact that he is Redfoo's nephew. "Sky might be doing a DJ set in South America and I might be in Vegas, and they'll say, oh, they're doing separate things. How can we make a story out of that?" said Redfoo. "We have to be smart enough to recognize it's all a game, keep executing our vision, and turn this world into a party planet." While this response from Redfoo and Sky Blue sounded quite authentic, only 5 months later the two would make a different statement confirming that LMFAO was officially coming to an end. Discussing the relationship of the duo, Redfoo would state, "I think we naturally just started hanging with two different sets of people, two different crowds, but we're always family. He'll always be my nephew, I'll always be his uncle. I feel like we've been doing this for so long, 5 or 6 years, and we're kind of like saying, well, let's just do what's natural and just kind of explore that instead of like forcing it all the time." In video interviews, Redfoo would reinforce that he and Sky Blue had simply grown apart.
Two people just, you know, grow.
Like, I get it, and I think I don't know, like, because, you know, overall, like, you know, like, family comes first, but I do feel like that if a person in a family, if they get screwed over or something is just like wrong, you know, like, everybody always says like family comes first, but it's like if you feel a certain way, it's like at that time being, you're not thinking of that. You're thinking about how these people just screwed you. Like, you're not going to be happy about the stuff that's going on. So that's why it's things like that where it's like, I know people would probably ask me, like, what would I do in that situation? And a part of me would say, like, okay, well, I want to be honest, but at the same time, it's like, I know if I'm going to be honest, everybody is going to be, you know, overall, like, asking me questions about the situation, and I'm not gonna want to answer all those different questions. And it's like, versus like if I just say like, oh yeah, we grew apart, like we're not doing those things anymore, and it's like they're doing their thing, I'm doing my thing, and that's it. And I know that there's gonna be people out there that's gonna be thinking like, okay, well, something like they gonna just keep trying to like edge it on, like, okay, well, something had to happen, something had to. You guys just don't split up, and you had like this successful album. It's like, no, what's going on? And then yeah, I do feel like that's probably why, like, if these guys are doing interviews now where they're like talking about each other and things like in a somewhat negative way, then yeah, you know, it's like, obviously, yeah, I mean, well, it was just being said. It was like, yeah, things was going on behind the scenes and stuff. So, yeah, that's messed up, man. That's really messed up. Dang. It's like, you hear this, you thinking it's like, oh, okay, these guys is killing it. And then, like, when you actually see, then it's all like, man, it's like, you know, that family stuff, it can drag on for so long and then eventually it's all like, okay, like you guys gonna start like bumping heads at stuff. But not all families, but I'm just saying there's like some out there where it's like, I personally think this, if you guys aren't like close and things to the point where it's like, I'm pretty sure like, you know, they hang out, because like I want to talk like on me and my uncle rule. I feel like nephews and uncles, like, look at Migos, look at LMFAO, and then it's like to just talk on me. I feel like you always got like, there's always like that nephew uncle like friendship and things. But no, like I feel like that if, you know, me, there's like one particular uncle where it's like he's the reason why I'm like so into video games and stuff. I had to like or at least like into other, like my parents did get me into video games, but I have to say he really like lunged the idea of like really playing a bunch of different video games. And I remember like me and him, like every time I would go over to his place, he like just always just goes straight up to his room. We just sitting there like the whole time just playing video games, playing Call of Duty, playing Grand Theft Auto, playing like you know, any video game that we can think of and stuff. And I feel like with something like that where it's like, okay, this started all the way back when we were kids, and now we want to turn this into like where we want to create a gaming channel. I feel like something like that can like work out because it's like, okay, like we're close. We know what we want to do. We know what we're into. And I feel like versus like, oh, well, you're into music. I'm also into music. And you don't really know too much about that, like, family member. I feel like that at that point, like, you know, some miscommunicating things can happen. So I feel like that if you're close, then things can work out. And who knows? There's probably been times where people have been close and stuff just falls apart. And then if it's like, if you guys aren't close, then it's like, yeah, then things are most likely to fall apart if you guys aren't really that close and don't really know each other like that. So, I mean, I'm saying it's like you could watch like any movie or TV show where it's like when you see that relationship form of like people that are not close and they have that initial moment where they think everything is chill, but then eventually, like, you know, things just start falling apart. It's like you see that a lot. Like, look at the movie Straight Outta Compton. Even though they wasn't family, but when Dr. Dre signed with Suge Knight, it's one of those things where it's all like eventually you're gonna want out and stuff, and it's like at the initial time it's gonna seem like it's like it's like just the grand prize of life, but then eventually it's gonna get to a point where it's like things is gonna come out and they're like, like I ain't like that whole situation. But anyways,
you grow and we kind of grew into our own individuals, and we just wanted to do so many things.
Yet shortly thereafter, Sky Blue would write a Facebook status directed at Redfoo, implying that their split wasn't so amicable. I've been wanting to speak my truth about this whole LMFAO situation for a long time. Out of respect to my family, I kept it all to myself. The way you belittle people and your crazy power trips were some of the main reasons our relationship as family and partnership has greatly suffered.
Wait, there's the one that says, but then I got a call from my lawyer telling me you say you own all of my LMFAO royalties, different things. 50-50, you cross the board. Exact, yeah. Dang, man. That's some crazy stuff.
Went out right before a big arena show. You went out and performed, but then just left on the tour bus without seeing me. In fact, you didn't speak to me after that for about a year, which is around the time you announced our hiatus. As someone who really cared, loved, and had your back, this really hurt. I mean, you're my uncle, my blood. You even kept touring as LMFAO and made a lot of money doing it. You never once called me to ask me how I was recovering. You just kept shuffling every day without me. I really loved you. I looked up to you, man. But the more successful we got, the more you wanted control. Possibly spending weakness in the duo. LMFAO would then be presented with a $7 million lawsuit by their former management, as well as another lawsuit by Rick Ross, who claimed that their line "Every Day I'm Shuffling" had been copied from his 2006 song titled "Every Day I'm
Oh,
Hustling."
wow.
Interestingly, throughout the lawsuit, Rick Ross would get further insight into the reason behind LMFAO's split. Further, Ross says Sky trashed his uncle in a deposition, where he said the real reason LMFAO broke up was Redfoo's refusal to keep him in the loop. With LMFAO breaking up and being sued, Redfoo and Sky Blue's only logical path was to continue as solo artists, only this didn't exactly go as planned.
After having such a success in LMFAO, and then going to a club, and then there's like 20 people there because Sky Blue's coming, not LMFAO.
As mentioned, Sky Blue went from selling out arenas as LMFAO to having 20 people show up to his shows as a solo artist. He released 2 singles in the year after LMFAO's breakup, each of which performing reasonably with around 2 million views each on YouTube, yet this was basically all of the success that Sky Blue was able to achieve as a solo artist. His career would fizzle out in the 3 years that followed, with his final piece of music being released in late 2016 before he disappeared from the music industry. And while this marked the cold, bitter end of Sky Blue's career, Redfoo, being the more famous of the two, had substantially more success as a solo artist, but only in the beginning. He'd initially land a position as a judge on X Factor Australia, in the process dropping songs such as That New Thing and Let's Get Ridiculous, each of which going platinum in sales, whilst both cracking the 100 million view mark here on
Well, it's
YouTube.
like, sit down and think about it, like you know, because Sky, in my opinion, yeah, Sky Blue does, you know, he seemed like that he was just like the underdog in the whole situation, where like people, because I truly do feel like that both of these guys are like extremely talented artists and stuff. And yeah, like, I mean, like, that's, if you're wondering like why did one do so much better than the other, like, for those that are wondering, I feel like everybody knows the legitimate answer. But if you're wondering why one did so well versus the other, I mean, well, just look back at what he just previously said in the video. He was going out on tour, touring around. They're like, and if that thing never came out, like, because I didn't even know about that Super Bowl performance until now. This is my first time even hearing about it. So like, if he never did come out and talk about like his back messing up, and then everybody just seen where he just ditched the show, and then he's the one that's like, yeah, everybody's seeing his face, he's going all across, like, I mean, he was on Ridiculousness, he's like everywhere and things. So yeah, that's why he still managed to, like, you know, get some things going. But I just think that that's messed up though, where it's like, if you're trying to like claim in all the money and things, like, it's a duo group, 50-50, like, one gets 50, other gets 50, but, and then it's like, yeah, any solo projects, it's like, then you get that, and then you own all of that. That is all on you and stuff, regardless of where you, like, because, see, here's the thing, because I guess, like, if I was in that situation where it's like, if I'm the uncle, this is my nephew, I just feel like, or even if it's a situation where it's all like, I'm still the nephew and it's one of my uncles, I'm like, nah, man, it's a 50-50 thing. It wouldn't be no different if everybody was looking at me and, you know, me being the nephew and stuff, and you being the uncle, and everybody's looking at me for the next move, and it's like, and I'm like, you know, I'm gonna still show love and still show support to you and stuff, but I'm expecting that back. I'm not expecting to be, you know, like, people doing like dirty or messed up things to me and stuff. So no, it's like, it could be a situation where it's like, you know, they need a spot to record their album. I'm like, fam, you could come here and record that album. I'm like, that's why I feel like the family stuff should come in, where it's like, y'all is helping one another, but not when it's like a business thing, where it's like some stuff like, it's like, it should always be like a family thing, like, and like, you know, in front of the cameras and behind the scenes. So, but anyways.
However, alongside these 2 incredibly popular tracks, Redfoo would also feature on a song titled Literally I Can't, which would unravel much of the success that
I think I
built
remember
as
that.
a solo artist. The song, which according to one article follows a group of sorority girls who are pressured into drinking and dancing, was labelled as misogynistic by countless different news outlets, prompting a response from Redfoo, who would state, "Another example of critics victimizing an artist by purposely misinterpreting his/her work to support a pre-existing agenda, #literally I can't," which will create a rift between him and his audience, with Twitter responses such as, "Dude, you've got a video of bros victimizing a group of women because they don't feel safe drinking with them. No, this isn't victimizing. You're a blatant example of extreme misogynistic behavior. Whatever made you think those lyrics were okay? He's sexist and he knows it." Others would go so far as to create
Wow.
a petition stating that Redfoo
That's
shouldn't be
crazy.
rehired on the next season of X Factor, which went on to receive over 23,000 signatures. Incredibly, the petition's request became a reality only a few months later, when Redfoo was ultimately fired from the show. He'd get another shot on television after being invited to compete on Dancing with the Stars, only to be eliminated
wow.
in the very first round.
Wow.
Being moved from X Factor and being eliminated on Dancing with the Stars was nothing compared to the reality check that Redfoo would receive after he'd released a brand new album in 2016 titled Party Rock Mansion. The album was dubbed a commercial failure after it would sell a miserable 144 copies in Australia for a number 172 debut, which was especially terrible as Redfoo had counted Australia as one of his most successful territories. The lackluster performance of the album seemed to indicate to Redfoo that his music career was coming to an end, as he'd only create a handful of songs in the 2 years
Stevie
following
Wonder
the
was
release
on the
of Party Rock
album?
Mansion,
Wow.
creating his final song in February 2018 before also disappearing from the music industry. In countless interviews from before the pair disappeared, both Redfoo and Sky Blue seemed pretty confident that at some point they'd get back together for an LMFAO reunion.
Will Sky Blue and Redfoo ever get together and make another LMFAO project? Is that even possible based on where you at now?
I believe so.
Yet, for obvious reasons as outlined, it doesn't seem like this will be happening anytime soon.
That's crazy. It's like how a pro gamer successfully faked his death for the dumbest reason. Oh, that's crazy. That is some crazy stuff. And I like this channel, though. I like how, yeah, Sunny V2. Shout out to Sunny V2, man. I was like, no, that was a solid video. I felt like I learned a lot from, like, high school all the way up until now. Like, because there's some of the things that he was talking on, and I did not know about it. So I was like, dang, that's crazy, man. It's like, that's why I'm like, sometimes, you know, because I know people think like it's always like a family drama situation, but I'm like, hey, look, you hear about it with friend groups, family groups, any form of groups whatsoever. It's like, if you guys don't share that same passion, if you haven't shared that same passion like since kids, and then all of a sudden, yeah, I just think that, you know, it like things can fall apart. It's like, you guys ain't got the, like, if you aren't on the same page, and then you guys don't have the same mindset on something, yeah, I think things can overall fall apart and stuff. So, but yeah, crazy, man. It's very, very crazy. But anyways, no, that was a pretty good video. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Sunny V2 for more videos like this. Like, subscribe to me too, and I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching, and peace.